It's the end of the season for me, spraying season. We got done using this a few days ago, and you can see a little bit of the mess that was made from cleaning up the 46, largely because I got stuck. The literal last 150 gallons or so that was in this sprayer, I ended up getting stuck down at the valley. Not the end of the world. I mean, I almost got out. I mean, literally, if it wasn't for getting hung up on the front axles, I'd been fine. So I'm gonna do a end of the season opinion on the sprayer. Do I like it? Do I not like it? Should I sell it? Well, as far as maneuverability goes, I give it a 10 out of 10. Largely because, by design, it's a 3-point mounted sprayer. You can back it in into all the square corners, goofy corners, whatever that you have. Turn on the switch, start your spraying, and go about the rest of your day. Works great. As far as capacity, if I was spraying more acres overall, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. 300 gallons right to the top. I did it a few times. The 46 handles it all right. The only problem is with our 4640, it's already a heavy tractor. It's got wheel weights, cast wheel weights on the inner rims and the rear tires. It's got fluid in the rear tires, plus it's got the full set of suitcase weights in the front, plus it's got the additional weight, I think it's like a couple hundred pounds, along the frame of the tractor also. So I mean, that tractor is very heavy, which in turn became a problem when pulling a 3-point mounted sprayer across the field. It's ultimately why I got stuck, because I was going across a field piece. Because we've had so much rain, you may say that a lot about the valley. It doesn't drain that well because it is pretty much a flat, level field. There's no way for it to really drain. Looked into tiling. The landlords have. I have not. It doesn't pay for me to do any tiling down there under the current circumstances. It just doesn't. That's why you don't see me doing it. But part of that field, it just hasn't been dry enough long enough, which being too dry has been an issue. 50% chance of rain, hopefully tomorrow is what they're calling. But that ground actually was retaining some moisture yet, and I didn't realize it. I haven't even cut that part of the field. I mean, I actually cut the outside rounds, got about 8 bales off of it, and there's probably 8 to 10 bales worth of material that I left standing. So I went through, I straight tracked the field. I went and did the outside round twice, so I had room to turn around. I did a straight track across the field, and I was going through that standing material that was left over from first crop, because I was going to make it yet. I'm still planning on making it yet, the 1st September or mid-September, sometime in September. Well, I literally could feel the back of the tractor, or the seat, like the tractor seat. It's kind of a odd feeling when you're going across the field. The tractor is driving by itself, so I was watching what the sprayer was doing. I wasn't watching in front of me. My bad. And I actually could feel the seat fall out from under me. It wasn't a gradual tractor pulling down, starting to bog. No, it was a literal cruising right along, minding my own business, dumb as dirt, and the seat literally, I fell light in the seat, just like that. I tried my hardest to get out, but largely because I panicked, because I wasn't sure if my cell phone sent out that text message for help before it died. So a 6-mile walk on a nice mild day, I guess, is great for you. I don't like the whole 3-point design. That's where I messed up. The reason I say that is all the weight on the back of the tractor. The heavy weight of the tractor, plus the weight of the sprayer, plus a full tank of spray, makes the tractor really unhandy. Definitely not really a big fan about how you get all that weight in the back end of the tractor, and the tractor just becomes really unwieldy. And I'm not a beginning tractor operator. I'm very well experienced, And even I actually had a few instances where I was a little bit concerned about the safety of the tractor sprayer myself a couple times. So besides that, the boom, well, let me go back to the tank. It's only 300 gallons. That really didn't bother me too much because I was putting on anywhere from 20 to 30 gallons to the acre. It took like 2 minutes to fill this up, if even that. So I mean, it didn't take very long to fill up and turn around and go. If I was spraying more acres, I guess. I actually ran all night when I did this. I started at 8 o'clock that night and I ran until 4 o'clock the next afternoon, because we were supposed to be getting a bunch of rain that we haven't gotten yet. So a little annoyed by that. But if it was more of a time crunch and having to drive back to the tank and refill was more of an issue, which I only bought this for putting fertilizer down on my hay ground, it would be more of an issue. The next sprayer is going to be a 500 gallon. That's long and the short of it. As far as being able to get across the field, a trail machine I think would have been better. I was originally, before I bought this one, I was looking at a Top Air 500 gallon 45-foot boom. Basically this machine, just different setup. 500 gallon tank, but it actually had the 4 wheels on it for better flotation. It wasn't just 2 big treaded tires. It was your implement floaters. And I honestly think that for the ground that I'm operating in, that is what I really need to be looking at, and I really need to consider putting it on the 7600 front wheel assist, and lighter tractor, but still with the front wheel assist, and being aware of your surroundings as far as an operator. I think the 76 and a pull type sprayer would be better. Do I like this sprayer? It does its job. I was, in the last 4 hours I was running it, some things happened. I'm not about to sit and discuss it, where I was ready to sell this sprayer. It almost ended up on Craigslist within 30 minutes of me getting it cleaned up. But I'm to the point right now where I'm gonna put it in the shed and forget about it for the year, because it has been winterized. I cleaned all the filters out. I put in 5 gallons of the RV 50 below zero winterizer in it. I ran everything. You can still see, same thing as the corn planter. The corn planter is the same way, but you can still see the product is in here. Hasn't, well, it's drained out of this one yet, but I'm not worried about any of my plastic fittings, my rubber fittings giving me any issues. The boom on the 7600, or yes, even on the 46, sitting up in the machine shed in the doorway with the sprayer on the 3-point arms all the way up, with the boom all the way up. Seems like it's a mile high up in the air. It's not. When you're going across the field with a 42 and a half, it's actually not a true 45, a 42 foot wide boom trailing behind you, and we have contours, we have rolling hills. That boom all the way up in the air, all the way picked up with the hydraulic cylinder all the way up, doesn't do you a dang bit of good. I was still dragging on my skids here, and did a great job. If I would have had these extensions out here, I'd be cussing at them. I probably would have deleted them after trying to spray with those bar extensions, because with this bar here, it protected this guy. And you notice I don't have the triple nozzle on it from T-Jet. These actually aren't winning me over right now. Too much going on, too much plastic. Believe it or not, these simple guys right here, just some check valve, 1 nozzle, simple. I don't run more than 1 nozzle generally. I mean, if I need to switch it over for spray, for spraying weeds, it doesn't take much to drop these out and go on. So I'm gonna go through and probably find a bunch of, well, not find, I just go buy a few more of these, and as I destroy the rest of these, yeah, that's right, destroy them, I'll just swap them out. So 3 nozzle design worked great. I did have one issue, operator error. I wasn't running at full pressure. I was able to get my rate. I was able to get my rate, but the problem is I was driving slow. People would probably complain that I wasn't driving fast enough, which really didn't bother me because I was going about 5 miles an hour to get the 25 gallons to the acre. Great. Problem is I had one of my nozzles, or my valves, opened up all the way, so it was agitating. So it was actually rerouting product back into the tank, and it was mixing it up. Not a bad thing, because it was keeping everything stirred up that was in there. Realized it like the last 100 gallons. I realized this when I was waiting for somebody to come and pull me out of the swamp. I adjusted that so more pressure was actually going out to the boom, and I was starting to actually have my rubber hoses leak because the pressure was cranked up so high that all of these, not all of them, just some of these that I had actually tightened by hand with the screwdriver were starting to show. I was getting a subtle leak around the opening, the hose end. So not a big deal, but if I would have actually thought to have that set properly, I could have put the rate out that I was looking for and driven faster. That everyone really would have probably preferred me running. On the contours, no, I was very content. I mean, when you're covering 42 feet at a pass, it's actually pretty enjoyable. All things considered, it was actually kind of fun to spray fertilizer. It really was. I mean, between the monitor, the on-track, as far as the tractor being able to make sure that you're utilizing your full boom width. Down at the valley, it sounds kind of odd. Not odd, it's just we don't run flat ground. We don't. Up until when I first picked up the valley, when I first ran it 5 years ago, that was my first time running in a field that was truly flat. And when you're able to do something like this, where you're getting acres done, you're actually watching the product go out into the ground, you can see that it is on the ground, and it is going to be utilized by the plants that are there. Being able to drive with this on the 46 on the flat bottom ground, spraying fertilizer, that was probably the most enjoyable time I had spraying. It's not that I didn't like spraying the rest of it, but when you're out on the level, you're not worried about getting stuck because the bottom is about 90% dry right now because of the dry spell we're in. It was actually kind of enjoyable running the sprayer down there. Like, same thing with cutting and baling and everything else. It is kind of fun to get on some level ground and operate for a while. For those of you that are used to that, it seems kind of weird hearing that from somebody, but it is kind of nice. So, what's my opinion on the sprayer? Keep it for now. Yeah. Gonna find a place to put it inside because it's not gonna sit outside forever and ever. It's gonna go inside. I'm gonna forget about it till next year. Been patrolling auction time right now and backing off on a chisel plow. I actually bid pretty aggressively on one earlier. It ended up going to Canada. It was just a 9-shank 714. I ran it up to a few thousand, well, a little bit more than a few thousand, and it went for $6,000 or $7,000. Which, for a good chisel plow that we'd probably run for years and years, just to get away from ours would be great. Problem is, the expenses that I'm finding up in the machine shed right now as far as repairs are starting to get ahead of me. As far as the work that I did to the disc bind, you guys saw that. That was several $100s that I was not planning on. Parts for the cultivator. Probably tired of hearing about the cultivator. I got parts coming for that bad boy. I just ordered them this morning. $20 worth of parts, $30 worth of shipping. I don't know if the shipping industry is having an issue with just getting stuff out. Different website that I ordered from the other day for the parts for this. It's just, I don't know what it is, but there is no such thing as just throwing it in a mailbox and sending it, because the parts are nothing. There's nothing to them. And $30 to get that 4x4 box the other day for the parts for this, it's insane. And the cultivator, I got to get the winterizer for that. I'm going to hook that back up to the 4020 or the 76. It really doesn't matter at this point. I'm going to put that check valve in. I'm going to put the new shutoffs in it because I have 2 new valves for it. Get it replumbed. Mechanically, it's sound, and I'm going to put that down in my place and forget about it. And then this is probably going to go down in the corner of the shed at my place. And then on to better things, right? So, yeah. The sprayer worked as advertised. It did what it was supposed to do. I'm not going to take away from that. I just messed up. A 3-point mounted sprayer was a mistake. That's my stance on that. Really great as far as maneuverability. I'd probably be cussing a trailed machine because, you know, it takes a little bit more to get it maneuvered properly, but I do want to upgrade to a trailed machine, 500 gallon, 45-foot boom. Andrew keeps aiming me towards like a self-propelled. People ask if I ever see us running a self-propelled. Maybe in 20 years, maybe in 10 years, but not in the next 5. And I picked this up for what I picked this up for the work that I put into it. It was a non-functioning sprayer when I bought it, and I got rid of the foam kit and everything else. I could get my money back out of it. I'm very confident in that, and I'm just not sure if I want to go that route at this point. It works. I have a working piece of equipment. I think we'll just keep it at that for the time being, and by next week I'll change my mind and I'll have it listed for sale. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed what spraying videos I did get put out for you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.